Love, they say it's a beautiful thing. People generally want to love people and be loved in return. And this certainly includes persons with disability. On the program today, our focus will be on the conversation we started last week, disability, dating, and marriage for persons with disability. And last week, our guest was Gift Ezeani. She was on the program and she was indeed a delight. Today promises to be super exciting as well, as our guest today is from a different cluster within the disability community. She is a hearing impaired person or a deaf person. She is going to be giving us her perspective about what dating, marriage, the concept of love, what does it mean for a deaf person. Last week, we got a perspective of someone with visual impairment. Today, our perspective will be from the lens of a deaf person. This is how I like to welcome you to the program Hitches and Voices on independent television and radio. My name is Kingsley Okoje, and my sign language interpreter for today is Cynthia Godwin. I will go to the show proper, but before we do so, let me quickly introduce my guest properly. Her name is Millicent Ogbodu. She is a staff with the Edo State Civil Service. Millicent, welcome to Hitches and Voices.
Thank you.
All right, I'll start by asking the very first question. There's this, notion or perception that people have about the deaf, that the deaf do not trust other persons apart from themselves. Is that exactly true?
Yes, it is true. Yes.
Oh, you mean deaf people find it hard to trust other persons who are not deaf? And why so?
Why? The response is very, very clear. Because of communication. For example, if a deaf person, for instance, wants to get married to a hearing person, and that person does not understand sign language, how are they going to communicate? People with disability often depend on others to help them. So also, hearing impaired persons, they depend on the hearing persons to be their ears. But in most cases, the deaf find it difficult to trust the hearing because of communication gap. But if the hearing person understands their language, it becomes an easy thing.
Fantastic. So let's move to the subject of love, dating, and marriage proper now. This issue of communication that you raise, does it influence the kind of person a deaf person wants to be in a relationship with? The issue of sign language?
They would prefer, because of that communication gap, a deaf person would always prefer to date a fellow deaf person. For instance, if a hearing person is communicating with a deaf person, and peradventure, even if he's a deaf as well, assuming they are in the room and there is no light,